Tamiya Plastic Model Company, first in quality around the world.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to EekRC. If you don't know, my name is Eric, and this is my Tamiya Nissan King Cab. If you're new to the channel or you're not sure what a Nissan King Cab is, why don't you take a look at this video.
Tough is a word that truly describes Nissan's King Cab pickup truck. It also describes Tamiya's 1/10 scale version of this eye-catching truck that also plays it rough. Wrapped in a beefy body of detail polycarbonate, this highly sophisticated racing truck is ready to take on all comers and will set new standards for monster truck racing. The sturdy bathtub chassis is matched to 114mm Mammoth spiked tires for record-shattering performance. High-tech components like four-wheel independent suspension and ball-type differential gearing come as standard equipment. The body styling faithfully depicts the Nissan King Cab pickup truck. A powerful truck made for tough competition. The Nissan King Cab in 1/10 scale by Tamiya.
It's so much fun watching those old videos. Alright, so this is the Tamiya King Cab. This is kit number 58081. It came out in 1989. And then they came out with a similar one called the Monster Racer. It was a Toyota Monster Racer. And that was kit number 58086. That came out like 6 months later or a year later. It came out sometime in 1990. I don't remember exactly when. But they were very similar. They had, different bodies and different box art. So Tamiya made this to kind of be a competitive, racing stadium truck. And at the time, low-C people were starting to convert their like JRX2s to, trucks, to monster trucks and RC10s. And then, of course, the RC10T, and low-C came out with the JRX-T. So this really couldn't compete with those because those are just all-out off-road race cars. The diffs are bad in this thing. It's just the diff is not sufficient enough for this heavy vehicle. The front end cracks sometimes. There's some parts that are just not really great on it. And for something that was supposed to be like a stadium race truck, they really didn't engineer it that great. So this one, I'm not going to turn it into like a shelf queen, like a, all original. I do have some parts for it that I'm going to use. I do have a Team Blue Groove body. This is the original body. I'm going to clean it up and see if I can redo like the decals and things like that, just to make it, nice again. There are some cracks. There's a crack on this side over here on this, the roll bar. And I'm going to fix that and, a few other things. But it's actually in really good shape because these bodies are super thin and they crack and break and smush very easily, especially the back area. So I might reinforce it, just try to do the best I can with it and try to just bring it back to life. And that'll be my runner body. And then the other body will be like if I put it on the shelf or want to display it, take pictures, whatever, I'll just use the other body, which is the Team Blue Groove. Now, there are some differences. This has this, big molded bumper that comes out here. I'm not sure how they did that because normally with these polycarbonate bodies you can't get that much detail, but that's really cool. On the Team Blue Groove one, it's more just part of the front. It's more flat. So that's how you can tell like the original from the Team Blue Groove or remanufactured ones. Or this big bumper sticking out. If it's not sticking out like this, then it's not an original body. So let's take the body off and take a look at it. Let me just take the camera off the tripod here. All right, so let's get the body off. And like I said, the body is in actually pretty good condition. It could use some new decals and a little bit of work. It is very dusty and dirty. And then we have the all-original King Cab. It even has its old electronics in it, including the manual speed controller and the resistor and the original motor that's in there. Yep, regular 540 silver can. Not that silver anymore. The problem with these, like I said, is the rear diff. So what I plan on doing is I have some, lots of super astute parts And I'm going to put a Super Astute TTC gearbox, which was an upgrade back then anyway. I'm going to mount that here and replace this gearbox with a TTC gearbox. Now, those are pretty much bulletproof compared to these. So that's what I'm going to do as far as the gearbox to solve that problem. The rear arms are very flexible. They flex quite a bit. And I'm sure, as you can see, how close the spring is. It's actually rubbing it. I don't know if you can tell. So the arms, they're very flexible and they twist quite a bit. That's always been an issue with the King Cab. Let's check out this side. This side's even worse. It pushes the spring out of the way as it's going up and down. So I have to do something with the arms. Now I can, the arms are the same on both sides. So what I can do, because the arms are probably twisted a little bit, I can just reverse the arms and that'll solve it temporarily until I find another fix for it. But other than that, I really haven't seen any broken parts. The battery clip here that holds the battery in, as far as I know, it's garbage. Like this kind of just over time, it's very flexible and it flexes up and the battery comes flying out. So I have to either put something in here to make more friction for the battery to stay in, or Ampro Engineering did design some new ones that will lock it in like permanently. The battery will never fall out. So all the parts are here. The steering's a little loose because some hardware fell out when it was being shipped to me. Besides that, it has all of its parts. Everything is pretty good condition. It does have its sway bar in the front also. And that's pretty much it. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to completely take this apart, break it all down, inspect all the parts, because you look at it when it's complete and you can't always find broken parts. You start taking it apart and all of a sudden you see a stress crack here, a little fracture there with something. So I want to break it all down. I'm going to get all the vintage electronics out of here. All right, so I'm going to get some bins out. I'm going to get some tools out. We're going to start taking this apart. And when I'm done, we'll talk about what I found.